Hello, my name is Bassim Jamal, and my project will be about the increasing trend of microbreweries and the impact they have on society. My research questions are as follows. Microbreweries are seen as a local identity for the city, but how does the city's sense of identity conflict with the ideal sense of being and those aspiring to one's real self? The responsibilities of having a family in a Western society requires both the father and mother to carry a full heart, dismissing the desires of the individual and ensuring security for the household. But as microbreweries increase and more families are brought into these atmospheres, can it lead to a dangerous path for both the parents' parenting skills and the development of the child in an environment revolved around the idea of drinking? Through my research and infographic, I hope to answer these questions and revolve it around the basis of this course. Here's just a quick slide of the history of microbreweries. I decided to do an observation infographic at one of the major breweries in Eugene, Oregon. What I noticed that surprised me was that although all these people were drinking and laughing, it seemed as if their interactions were forced, as if society has told them that this is the it thing to do, so by simply doing it, I'm doing my part. And the couples who brought their children just seemed relieved to be doing something they wanted to do, and drinking was a coping mechanism as a relief for their children. I know that might sound harsh, but it was what I observed. As consumers begin to favor taste, alcohol content, and aroma in their beer, their obsession for finding beers to their liking drives them to consume more and to search further distances in order to satisfy their palate, which is not a bad thing. But when you have beer trail maps and breweries spaced out far enough that require a car, can have devastating outcomes. Are we trying to satisfy our needs or simply revolving around the culture of drinking like an app on a cell phone that requires you to catch them all? Driving under the influence, antisocial behavior, unsupervised children, and sexual assaults are only some of the problems that result from an increase in acceptance towards drinking and the need to find the perfect beer. There seems to be a common trend with our readings, films, and lectures in this course that our identity is constantly being tested and is a reflection of both our health and judgment. But as technology and trends continue to change, the path of culture becomes manipulated and restricted to the ideas of consumerism and what is expected of us. These observations are a reflection of this change in behavior in the direction that may satisfy the needs of the individual while contributing to the demands and expectations of society, but at the cost of stripping away the real individual to be a part of an overall system that dictates our outcomes. To relate my findings with the course, I would characterize the trend of microbreweries as a culturally constituted mind rather than a biologically structured mind, because this change of behavior didn't occur naturally, but was morphed by reputation, a good marketing strategy that appeals to the consumers and steps away from the boringness of traditional lifestyles and has very little to do with a universal mind, except for maybe the fact that we as human beings have constantly strived to find some form of stimulant to cope with our daily lives. This also relates to Picker and the idea of assuring each society has a unique cultural personality, and you can see that through breweries if you travel between different cities or even different neighborhoods among these cities. A separate identity is attached to each brewery to attract more consumers. Another concept that is brought into mind is Bach's social structure and personality about breaking away from the whole society and the power of equality, and I feel that really ties in with the craft beer community. But as it grows and more people continue to have an excuse to drink more, conflicts with the good intentions of a strong community. The story of the Palestinian refugee is a good example of how an idea of what is expected of you culturally can have drastic effects on your overall selfhood. This idea of the heart has been seen in managing the heart to brain, face, and soul. Shall we dance? A heart too full and disciplined hearts can be tied into the increase in wanting something, whether it's to drink all the breweries in the city, to get away from reality, to be a part of something different, or a coping mechanism for past events. Microbreweries are a way to manage the heart by exercising escapism, selfhood, and emotion. But is this the right path? Is alcoholism one that we want to use to fill our hearts or mask our emotions, or is there other alternatives to satisfying our needs and finding our identity? Craft beer sought out to find its own identity, but in turn became the very same byproduct of its competitors through advertisements and change of behavior. I hope that this presentation has given you some information to the direction we are heading and the influences cultures can have on society. Thank you for your time.